Alrighty, I'm live on YouTube. Trying to get rolling on Facebook. I'm probably live, but I still have a spinny circle, so we'll wait for it to fully get my video up and loaded. Looks like it's loaded. Welcome everybody. Looks like I'm up and rolling on Facebook and YouTube again, both tonight. So once again, I've got the camera situation figured out. And again, I'm having to use the new Facebook Live Director. It's the new version of Facebook Live. So you guys are going to have to be sure and comment to let me know you're there, because I do not see when you've joined. Before I could see that if you just joined and watched the feed, then I could respond to that. But now I only see those who actually comment. So be sure and comment. Give me a hi. Give me a holler. Let me know. We'll kind of chill out here a little bit and kind of get things settled. Let some people get checked in, and then we'll talk about our topics. See. Yeah, we are live. Alrighty, let's see. So we're going to do RDR. Katie Winters, what's happening? We're going to do state. Let's see, state. Can't type. Party stuff. We're going to do physical distancing. And USA cycling upgrades. Boom. So I just typed in the list there at the top. I did it in the title, so I'm not sure exactly what you guys see when you log into the Facebook Live or if you see it. But I just popped it into the first comment. So topics tonight, we're going to talk about RDR. Some things have been happening there. And I've answered a lot of questions. I think we're having a great turnout, just from the buzz and the feedback that I'm getting from a lot of people that I don't know. I've had a lot of messages and questions about it from new riders that are seeking to race, and so I think that's pretty cool. I want to revisit the state park situation and setup. I went a little long last week, and so I really only talked about it for maybe about 5 or 10 minutes. And I want to just give it a little bit more time today. And I want to talk on something that popped up to me, and I've been reading a little bit about it here and there, and it kind of hit home with an article that I read, and it's the using the term social distancing versus the term physical distancing. Just a few thoughts on that. Personal thoughts, unrelated to cycling, but I guess it will actually impact cycling. But just wordplay a little bit. Talk about that. And I also want to talk about USA Cycling upgrades. I've had 3 or 4 situations with USA Cycling questions. Both about upgrading, but I do also want to talk about age grouping and age groups and things of that nature, just because we've had a lot of questions. I think most of the experienced racers get it, but we still ran into some issues with both. So I just want to throw that knowledge out there, and hopefully that'll get spread around a little bit, and a few more people will be in the know. So Don Jonathan, hello. So again, if you guys are out there and you're watching, be sure and just give me a hi. You don't even have to say anything. You don't have to be involved in the conversation, but just let me know you're out there. You have to comment, even if it's just an emoji, to let me know that you're there. Otherwise, I can't see you. So be sure and give a post. Let me know that we've got people doing their thing and listening and watching, and that will help me engage with you guys and answer any questions. Obviously, you have questions or comments, definitely throw those out there. I'm usually pretty good. I rarely miss any miss any comments, and I try to speak to any questions or comments that are brought up. So hopefully I will continue to do that. All right. So I want to go ahead and go out. I'm going to get a little close up here of this guy. So this is a leather koozie. I'm drinking a little Fat Tire. Oop, let me get the Fat Tire. I'm drinking a little Fat Tire Amber Ale. Custom koozie, stitching, buffalo leather. So this is rocking. Got my little homemade koozie here. I brought a hat to a Bike Lab hat to a buddy of mine here in Hobart, Bobby Ernst, and he's been working from home a lot, and he's started some projects with some leather projects, and this is one of his leather projects to keep himself busy. He made a couple of extra ones of these for me, and so I now have 2 buffalo hide leather homemade koozies. So Bobby, you're awesome. Thank you. And those are going to get, you know me, those are going to get heavily used. So appreciate it. Shannon Paul Wyatt, welcome. Brian McGinnis, welcome. Daniel Lemons and Derek Gossard, welcome, guys. And possibly gals. I don't know if it's Shannon or Paul. Oh, no, that's right. It's Shannon. We had this conversation before. I thought it was Shannon and Paul Wyatt, but it's actually Shannon Wyatt. Shannon Paul Wyatt, that's first name, middle name, and it's he. We had this conversation. I just missed out on that. So I'm with it this time. I remembered. I'm slow sometimes. Let's revisit the state park situation and set up. Aaron McDaniel, what's happening? Aaron's we talked earlier, talking about single speed gear ratios for RDR. Tough one, but I think 3218 is going to be the call. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pull the 3218 simply because of my fitness, and also I'm having some issues with my bottom bracket. So I think a 19 is probably the only thing I'm going to get on. I'm not sure I'm racing yet at this point still. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I feel much better. I've been training. I almost got through a full workout today, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. State parks. So last week, news popped out. It was not surprising news, but it had gone dark and quiet for a while, and I think everybody probably just kind of forgot about it, and they were hoping it would go away. But it was in the works. It's been in the works for almost a year. We've been hearing about it pretty strongly for 6 to 8 months, with a handful of articles and a few of us that are connected. And that is that they were going to implement a parking fee, which is basically like a daily use fee for a handful, and in this case, 22 of our state parks in Oklahoma. So I know there's as with anything, there's people that are all crazy against it, and there's people that are all positive for it. And I guess I'm somewhere in the middle. I can see some issues with it and seeing it being a little problematic. I think that I can see certain parks in certain locations that are going to probably price out people that would normally go to that park, and now they're not going to be able to. But at the same time, I also understand that our parks have been funded about like our schools, probably worse, and we're not funded very well through our state. And being reliant only on that is just not good enough, and they need more money to actually really run these parks and do the things that they need to do. Especially if things are going to continue to grow because of the trend that COVID has set. I mean, I think you guys are all kind of like me. You're outdoorsy, athletic, you're park picnicking, taking your kids to parks, fishing, things of that nature. I think all of you guys are that way in some manner or another. And if you are, then you know what's going on in our state parks. Every park, state park, local park, it's absolutely crazy. The usage is unbelievable. The damage is unbelievable. The manpower needed to take care of these things is unbelievable. The I've been talking with a couple people, and Amy and my girlfriend and myself have been just noticing it. Even the places where we go, any common trail or commonly accessed area, that the amount of trash and debris and destruction that non-outdoor people are doing. One of the groups that I'm really super disappointed in, the fishermen. I'm a fisherman. I have been my whole life. My boys are. The fishermen are absolutely nasty. They're leaving shit, bait buckets, chairs, crap, plastics. I mean, you can see it. It's all sitting right there. It's just absolutely amazing. It's amazing. Anyway, so sorry, tangent. The whole point being, if this usage continues, they need this funding to be able to maintain these parks so that we can continue to enjoy them. So I'm fairly certain that this fee does go directly to the parks. It doesn't go into a general budget and then is distributed through the state. It goes into a very specific budget just for state parks. And they will distribute that. I don't know what their method is, but they will distribute that through all the parks. So, and that is one good thing. Only 22 of our state parks. Now, I don't know how many state parks we have, but I'm fairly certain we probably have twice that many plus. I don't know. I would say that definitely we have at least twice that many. Probably someone out there knows the answer to that I don't know. But we are only implementing, I say we, Oklahoma is only implementing this fee for 22 parks in our state. So there are still plenty of parks that are free. And the charge is basically a day pass, which is $8 if you live in state. It's $10 if you live out of state. And it's per car. It's not per person. So that's not bad. Also, you're looking at, you can get an annual fee. I bought mine today. So I bought my annual license, $60. So now I'm covered throughout the state. I can go anywhere in the state right now, as long as I drive my car with my one license tag. So therein lies the only issue that I have with all of this. So the only issue that I have with the whole entire process, I think they've implemented it very well. They've implemented it in a very economical way. I'm sure they're going to still price some people out, but the reality of it is this is very, very economical for even someone that's, a single parent like myself with multiple kids. Granted, my kids are a little older now, so it's not as significant, but I'm still a single dad with 3 kids. So I know a lot of you are doing that. I've been doing that for 15 years. So, single dad for 15 years, essentially. So I get it, but this is a very economical way that I feel that they've done it. Derek says, looks like 35. So I was a little off. I was hoping that we had 50 parks, but it looks like we have 35 state parks, and 22 of those now have a fee. So there's still plenty that are free. So it's still good. So of all of this, my personal feeling, the only thing that I have an issue with all of this, and I've already expressed this at the state level, as well as 2 of my friends that are both state park directors. And I just want to keep getting this information out there. So if you guys know anybody in the administrative area of, it's not Parks and Wildlife, it's actually Recreation and something for the parks. It's travelok.com, but there's an actual name for the State Department level. But if you know any park directors, let them know of this one thing. This one thing they need to make an addition. They need to make an addendum. And I think they just accidentally left this part out. Because as I was researching this, I checked all those states: Kansas, Arkansas, Texas, Colorado. They all have similar type things. Kansas is way cheaper than ours. Texas's is a little higher in one aspect, but much cheaper in another aspect. Colorado has a couple of options. And so, but they're all fairly similar. But I think ours is very reasonable, minus one thing. The thing that they left off and the thing that they forgot is they don't have any option for family package, and they don't have any option for multiple household users. So here's the issue. So you have a husband and a wife, they have 2 vehicles, maybe 3 if they have a farm truck, or they have like a little, SUV thing that they want to like to, take out for fun. If they get a $60 annual license, which is probably something that most people will do because that's reasonable, $60 a year, that's not really that bad. I spend more than $60 a month on box wine. That's reality. So $60 isn't a big deal. But the problem runs into is that it's tied to your tag. So husband and wife could have 3 vehicles, but once they buy that license, they have to pick the vehicle that they're going to license it under. So then if they go to the park and they're in a different vehicle, so, they want to take the husband's vehicle, or they want to take the wife's vehicle, or they want to take the fun vehicle, only one of those is licensed. So you're only going to be okay with the one car. That's a problem. It's a problem for me. I have 3 kids. Granted, they're older. I mean, they're college age. But still, they're still kind of my responsibility. So now, we're talking 4 vehicles. I've got mine. I've got 3 kids. We got 4 vehicles. We don't go fishing at the same time. They don't come biking with me. We all do our own thing. So essentially, I'm looking at 4 $60 licenses. There's no reduction for having people in your household. There's no family reduction. So we're looking at $60 for every single kid in my household. That's $240. That's not reasonable. I don't know what we're going to do. We haven't decided yet. Maybe get grandma and grandpa to help and get one kid, and grandma and grandpa on the other side to get another kid. But I don't know. I can't throw $240 out. So what the other states have done is they have a family plan. So like Colorado actually has a family plan that's tied to a family and a name, not a tag. It's like $120. That's not too bad. Covers your whole family if you live in the household. They also have a similar plan as Texas as an option, as an add-on. Texas has, you buy your main license, like ours is 60. I think theirs is 75. But then if you have other kids or other people living in your household, you can buy an additional annual license for like $20, or I think it's 25. So for me, that's fairly reasonable. You can buy your main one for your car, then you can get 25 extra for another couple kids. That's pretty reasonable. But so anyway, I think that's just something that Oklahoma needs to add. I think they forgot about. I just think they missed it. It didn't come up. So I want you guys to keep reaching out to the people that I'm going to keep reaching out, and hopefully maybe whenever they get to some point where they can make a vote or they can make a change, they'll add that. They don't need to change what they've done. They just need to add an additional option. It's super easy to get your annual as well as a daily. You can do it through Travelok. The daily is super easy. I just did the text thing. I think it's Premium Parking is the app. I downloaded the app, but I'm not going to use it. I don't need it. You just basically text. I think it's 504, and you'll get a text back. And it gives you links on how to register and links on how to find park codes and park things. And so basically I just plugged in the park code for the local one for me, which is Great Plains, which is Steed. And then once you get past that, you can either, you can choose what license you want. And even though I picked the one specific park, it doesn't matter. I chose to buy an annual. That annual is good for all the parks. So I just purchased that, plugged in my credit card information, boom, done, printed off my sheet, and put it in my car. So I've got it in my glove box. I'm good to go. So anyway, that's the gig. So let's go back up. Lindsey Bond, what's happening? Missed you there. Aaron McDaniel, 3418. Yeah, Aaron, I figured you'd probably run that. And that's a solid. I mean, honestly, I would probably run a 3217 if I thought I could get away with it, but I just can't right now. So your 3418 is pretty solid to that. Alex Dow, what's happening? Daniel Lemon says went to Great Plains, which is Steed. This weekend it was packed house. They already had signs about buying the parking passes. Yep. So, Matt Elder, greetings, Earth people. What's happening, Matt? So, okay. So again, we've got a few comments, a few people checking in. So if there's any more out there, definitely throw out questions, comments, say hi, whatever you want to do. And I'll keep checking the comments and see if I need to respond. So don't have any messages here. I'm gonna check my YouTube. YouTube's going fine. Doesn't look like anybody's commented over there, so we're golden. Alrighty. My custom koozie with my fat tire. Nice. All right, I'm going to talk a little something here. I made a post yesterday, I think, about this, and I've actually heard this before, and I thought about it a little bit, and I saw another post from another. With all the media that goes on about COVID, and I mean just everything with the riots, and I mean everything in the presidential stuff. I just don't trust a lot of things. But there is one guy that I've been following now about the COVID pretty much since day one. His name is Michael Osterholm, and I ran into him on Joe Rogan and just really, really felt that he had a good message, and he was very unbiased, and he was able to give a nonpartisan scientific explanation, and it's something that he's been doing his entire life. He doesn't have any pressures on him. It doesn't appear. I'm sure there are some small ones, but it doesn't appear that he has any big organizations pushing him one way or the other because of the nature of the direction of his career. And he's written a book, and he wrote this book 2 years ago or more that basically predicted everything that is happening currently almost in real time. So he knows his stuff, and he's not backing off. And I know people argue numbers and argue this and argue that, but you're splitting hairs, because when you look at the root of what he says, it's solid. But regardless of all of that, I don't want to get too much into that. He said one thing in an interview that I've recently read, and then I actually heard it in another video interview that it didn't resonate at the time because it was so fast. But then when I was reading it, it resonated with me a little bit. And something that he stresses, and that is the use of the proper terminology. Connotations are important. Terminology is important. Our language is important. And he stresses highly that we are not and should not social distance. Now, doesn't mean we shouldn't be taking precautions. What he means is that we should be, and we are actually physically distancing. So we are putting physical distance between one another to keep us from contracting the virus. That's really what we're doing. We're not socially distancing. Socially is a social thing. That is social interaction, verbal intercourse, talking with one another, behaving with one another, interacting with one another, whether that is from 6 feet or not, doesn't matter. We can still do that. We're doing that right now. We're being social right now. We're socially interacting right now. All of you guys are listening to me. You guys can tell me shit right here in the comment. I can respond. You can call me later. You can message me. Like, we're all being social. So that just resonated with me, and I feel that I'm going to do my best to no longer use social distancing. I'm going to try to use physical distancing. I don't disagree with the fact that we should try to do that as best as we can right now, given the situation. But I think that we just need to stop using social and replace it with physical. So that's just my personal opinion, wizard opinion. It means nothing. I'm not a scientist. You guys know me. I just, something that resonated with me and something that makes sense. It's just a word change. But for me, I think it's an important word change, and it's mentally, sociologically, psychologically. I think that could be an important change, and I think that all of the media and the agencies that adopted that term just weren't thinking, and it came up and it popped and it sounded good and they're using it, but it's not really what we're doing. We're actually physically distancing from one another. We're not socially distancing. Although it has had a social impact, absolutely. But I just think that we need to stop using the term to try to limit the impact of that word. So anyway, just my 2 cents off my soapbox, just the way it rolls. Drew Hartling, what's happening? So you can't wait to race Sunday. Yeah, for sure, Drew. I'm ready to meet. I'm ready to see all my people. Man, I've missed all my people, all you guys. Man, oh man. I mean, honestly, this whole pandemic and being home it's been bizarre for me. It's been really, really good in some ways, and it's been really, really a struggle in some ways. I've struggled with some health issues that are all resolved, and I'm golden and training and riding again. I'm a little behind the curve fitness wise, but it's also put me in a very, very good social place. My girlfriend and I have been able to really, really connect in a really short period of time, just because we had the time to dedicate to one another. Me and my kids have just done off the wall stuff. We've had all the time and hanging out and doing all kinds of crazy fun stuff here in my little part of Southwest Oklahoma. You guys have been seeing the pictures. So yeah, it's been kind of crazy good and crazy bad at the same time. Julie Din says a better plan for heat rescue for the racers. Well, Julie, it's going to be RDR, so there's going to be tons of bailouts at Draper, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. However, I have been working with the race directors, and we'll talk about it more in a minute, as well as the course planners, and we are going to just do one 9-mile lap. So I think that lap is not going to be crazy long in terms of the generic Tour de Dirt series for the Cat 3s. And we are going to shorten the first lap for both the Cat 2s and the Cat 1s. Sorry, let me revisit that. The novices Cat 3. Formerly Cat 3. It's the new novice group. Sorry. I'm still working on that. That's a big terminology change. I just came off of one soapbox and I need to get on another. So the novices are going to do one lap. It's going to be a 9.123 4-mile loop, depends on your Garmin. I did the loop this weekend and I ended up with 9.15, something like that. I don't have a sensor, so I probably lost a few miles. So I can easily see someone getting 9.5, just based on their Garmin. It is going to be hot. The Cat 3 race will be early, so I think you guys will be fine. The kiddos are going to go early. They're going to be fine. The issue is going to be the Cat 2s and the Cat 1s. We're going to be riding in the heat of the day. But like I said, they are going to shorten the first lap to about 7 miles. So that'll cut that lap down significantly. That'll make that lap I'm guessing a sub 30-minute lap or a 30-ish ballpark-ish lap. I did a lap I did a full lap at 55. And I didn't really ride crazy race pace. If I'm doing a full lap at that, I'm probably going to be, I can see doing a shortened lap in 30. So Cat 2s are looking at an hour and a half tops. The Cat 3s are looking at, 2:15-ish or so. So the promoters have done a really good job of cutting the laps down. So I think they're going to be fine. So definitely ice in the drink for sure, Julie. But I know your ice and your drink is going to be over there while you're chilling in the team tent. So your drink may be different than the racers' drinks. Derek Gossard says, put on your whitest tires. Draper is sandy. Rode there yesterday. Yep, it's that time of year, Derek. Sand is multiplying. I rode it this weekend, and I felt the very first part, which used to be the end part, which now that we're doing it reverse, it's now the first part, the horseshoe and some of that stuff. there was some sand early on, and that was simply because the sand was all pushed in, because we've been riding it the other way, it's all pushed to one side. And so now that we're going the other way, we're going through that sand. So it'll take a while for that. But this is just time of year. I mean, this is normal. This is RDR, this is Draper. This is normal. We haven't had rain there. I think I talked to Bill Denton. I think we haven't had rain there in 12, 13, 14 days. When that happens, sand happens, just part of the gig. So just, it's good. It's there. It is there, and it's part of it. It didn't bother me too bad. I got a little squirrely in a few spots, but you know what? Everybody's going to get squirrely in those spots, so it's all even. Just be smart about it and ride through it, and you'll be good. You'll figure it out. So, all righty, 30 minutes in. Let's see where we're at. I'm going to save RDR, talk about the race last, although I have talked a little bit about it here and there already. I do want to go ahead and cover one more topic before I jump into RDR and finish with that. We should be out early today, unless you guys have some really good questions and some things you want to talk about. If you do, drop those things out there and I'll get to them. I want to talk about just some USA Cycling rules, mainly upgrading and the concept of race age. We've had some issues. Not really issues, honestly, just questions. People not knowing, and a few that have not upgraded, and that again is unknowingly. So let me start with age. So there's two things here, and there's a lot of little USA, a lot of little nuances with USA Cycling that guys like me, we've been doing it for a long. I just take it for granted. And so it's good when these things come up because it lets me talk about it. It lets me introduce it to people and get the word out because not everybody knows this stuff. I mean, it's a lot of it's obscure. A lot of it's just through experience and the rules change. So I keep up on it fairly well. So first one is race age. So as we enter a race season, whether you're doing mountain bike, cross country like Tour de Dirt, or whether you're doing a marathon race season, or whether you're doing a road race season, or whether you're doing a cyclocross season, all of those are USA Cycling events, and all of them operate under various different rules. But one rule that is definitely the same for all of them is the age method. So basically what it is that during the year, obviously you change in age. So our season, our Tour de Dirt season goes from February this year all the way to the end of October. Often it just goes from February to September, but regardless, that's a significant part of the year. So how do you do age categories, especially if you're on the bubble, like if you're 39 or if you're 49 or if you're 19, you're on the bubble of like, am I in the group below or do I bump up? Or what happens if my age changes during the year? Do I go from one group and do I have to bump up to a next group? Well, that's messy and that's just not something you would want to do. So the rule and the way it works with USA Cycling is you take every year and you take December 31st of whatever this current year is, and currently it's 2020. Next year will be 2021, whatever. So it's December 31st of the current year. How old will you be then? Whatever your age is on that date, that's the age that you race all year. So you could be 29 years old and have a November birthday. Well, that means that you're actually 30. I said 29, right? 29. If you're 29, but you could have a November birthday, but December 31st of that year, you're actually going to be 30. So what that means is that you would race in the 30, 39 age group, or, some disciplines break it up into smaller groups, 30 to 35 if you're doing like triathlons and stuff like that. But it's the same concept. You take however old you are on 12/31 of the current year, that's your race age. and that's how you race all year long, and that doesn't change. So, so for me this year, I just turned 53, so I'm racing 53 because my birthday was in March, but I was still actually 52 our first 2 races of the season, but I was racing as a 53-year-old. Now, it didn't matter because I'm in the same category, but anyway, that's how it works. So that's how it works with age. So it's how old you are on 12/31 of the current year, and that's the age that you race. Now, there is a little weirdness sometimes that happens in cyclocross. I won't go into that too far, but the issue there is that sometimes cyclocross goes over into the next year. They go into January and February, and so then there's some issues there because that means that all year you're racing 2 years ahead. So anyway, I don't want to go into that. That's messy, and we're not cyclocrossers. So we'll worry about that later. So let me get some comments, and I'll finish the rest of that USA Cycling stuff. So Drew Hartley says, "Do I need a park pass for Draper on Sunday?" I have talked with the race promoters, and we have decided that we do not. Honestly, the police and all of that's been going on have in pre-COVID, pre-pandemic, were being very, very aware, and they were checking, and they were asking, and they were patrolling. Since COVID, the people that I've been talking to, it's been very minimal. I don't know if they've got other things going on or other priorities, but they've not been checking. But I will say that if you do come Saturday and you want to pre-ride, it's up to you. You stand a chance of getting a ticket or a warning, but you should have at least a day pass, and you can get it online. Someone will post it here. It's been posted a bunch on all the different cycling pages. I don't have the link handy, but I know a bunch of my friends do. You can go out and get that online. If you're going to pre-ride on Saturday, I would definitely recommend that you have the pass. If you come Sunday only, you do not need it because they have a permit for the race. Shouldn't be necessary. So, Michael Pickle, welcome. Jeremy Black says finally here. Awesome. Welcome, Jeremy. Okay, so I'm going to go one further. I'm going to talk about upgrading USA Cycling. So I've had this happen. I had to talk with a couple of people, but I mean, this happens a lot. And I think that probably there's more than the 2 people that I've talked to that this has occurred to. So if you're a Cat 3, I'm just giving this example. It could be a Cat 2 going to a Cat 1. It's the same thing. If you're upgrading from novice to Cat 2, Amy Clark, hello, from your porch, I'll bet, in Oklahoma City. So if you're going from a Cat 3 novice to a Cat 2, or you're going from a Cat 2 to a Cat 1, you actually have to apply for an upgrade. It doesn't just happen automatically. So with other disciplines, road cycling, cyclocross specifically, they're USA Cycling's very picky about that. You have to gain X amount of points. You have to enter X amount of races. It's very specific. You have to do certain things and get there's a mathematical formula that allows you to be upgraded and also forces you to be upgraded. So you do this and boom, you get upgraded. Okay, it's not that way with mountain biking. So a lot of times the upgrades just happen automatically in road and happen automatically in cross because officials and state USA representatives just make that happen. That doesn't happen in mountain biking, which I'm fine with. I really like the leniency, and I like the honestly, I just like the way that they kind of leave us alone. I mean, we follow their guidelines and we do their thing, but for the most part, when it comes to really picky rules and stuff like that, they kind of just leave mountain biking alone and let us do our thing. And this is one of those issues, though. So let's say that you were a Cat 3 last year. This year you're racing a Cat 2 discipline. Whether it's an open discipline like single speed, or whether it's you're actually bumping up in age group and racing your age group in Cat 2. Okay, you have to go through USA Cycling and request an upgrade. You have to go online. You have to log in. I don't think you can do it from your phone. Maybe you can, but I think I've talked to people that have had trouble doing that. You typically have to log in to USA Cycling with your account. You have to go to your account on a computer. In the licensing area, there is an upgrade downgrade choice. You click it, and then you request the upgrade. And it takes a few days. It used to be almost automatic, but now it takes some physical interaction with a person at USA Cycling. So that means that it's going to take at least a couple of days. So, don't try to wait till like the day before the race and do it. It may not happen. So anyway, so that needs to be done. You can't just like start racing in an upper category and then just assume everything's going to be fine and USA Cycling is going to just change all that for you. No, it's not going to happen. So, anyway. So Philip just popped in and says 3 to 5 days, which is pretty normal. I mean, sometimes it goes quick and sometimes it goes slow. Honestly, right now, I'm guessing it's probably going to go slow because I'm pretty sure that they still have a ton of people at USA Cycling that are furloughed. I think some of them have gone back to work. I think one of my main regional contacts at USA Cycling is still furloughed, Don. I'm not sure if he's back part-time or back full-time, but our other contact regionally is Stephanie Sexton, and she's, she's still, she never furloughed, so she's been working on full-time, but she's not just in charge of Oklahoma. She has several states, so that's probably going to delay it for sure. But it's a super easy process. You just need to do it and be on top of it. So that's it. Yeah. So all right, not too many comments, so I'm gonna keep rolling on. Yeah, Philip says I just did it, went the whole year without knowing you had to. And that's all good. That's all good, Philip. It happens. And I guess that's the good and the bad of USA Cycling with mountain biking is that it's the bad part is like nothing triggered. With them, they didn't notice it electronically. They didn't have any notifications set in. But for me, that's also a good thing. It lets us handle stuff like this locally. And it's much easier to handle locally than it is at an administrative level. And so that's one of the positive things that I feel with USA Cycling and mountain biking is that they give us a lot of room. They give us a lot of local control. And I feel that locally we do a very good job of managing our own and managing it properly. And I hope that USA Cycling respects that and continues to allow us to locally control mountain biking. You just don't see that with road. You don't see that with cross. You don't see that with crit racing. I mean, if you guys have ever done any of those disciplines, whew, man, oh man, it's strict, real strict. And you have tire sizes, you have, requirements on what you can wear. You have bike requirements, the point requirement, the start requirement, you have to start certain number of races. You have to gather points, and you can only race in this discipline, and you have to work. Yeah. Anyway, it's very rule orientated, and I like the fact that USA Cycling gives us a lot of rope, and I feel that locally we do a good job of managing that. And anyway, so all good. All right, last topic. Again, before I roll into this is my last thing. I'm 45 minutes in, so we'll knock this out in 10. Talk about RDR. Red Dirt Rendezvous, Lick Stanley Draper, Team Phoenix, and they've been doing a lot of work out there. I was out there this weekend. Course was marked. They didn't fully mark it because you really can't. I mean, it was marked, but you can't like fully block stuff off because you still have a lot of different trail users out there. You have hikers and people that are not racing that are just wanting to ride the whole thing. So they did a really good job. I didn't have any issues following it. I didn't know the course. I winged it, and I didn't miss anything. I ended up with 9.15 miles. No sensor, so it easily, if you're, I think we're, you know how it is. We all ride races and we're all different. But I suspect we're going to all see between 9 and 9.5 miles for the main loop. Solid with that. There's a little bit of sand out there, but again, it's Draper. Considering that it's Draper and that we've been 12, 13, 14 days, no rain, sunny and hot. The sand is actually, in my opinion, not that bad. There is sand out there, but in comparison to how it normally gets this time of year, it's not that bad yet. Doesn't look like we're going to have any rain or moisture between now and the race. I didn't look at the forecast real closely. Ideally, it would just rain like crazy on Friday, and then the race course would be baller on Sunday. But that's probably not going to happen. It has happened in the past, but probably not. So I thoroughly enjoyed it out there. It's my first time on a mountain bike in a while. I had a ball this weekend. I thought it was a great course. Super cool going back the other direction. I was talking to some folks, and just riding the course in this direction brought back some great memories. I can still remember back when I first turned to Cat 1 back in like 05, 06, and we were racing this direction. There was one section of trail that I can very vividly remember chasing Forrest Smith. There's probably only 3 of us in that age group and category on Cat 1s. And I mean, for those of you that don't know Forrest Smith, a lot of you guys don't, just because there's only so many old school people like me still left. But Forrest was kind of like the B Money and the Chris Drummond, that kind of guy. So, I was racing him. So like my whole goal in life when I was racing him was to see if I could race for 5 minutes into the race and still be able to see him. And then once that was over, which inevitably it was, my goal was to finish before he was changed into his regular clothes. So I can vividly remember racing a couple of those sections at Draper, this direction, the new direction. And I can remember racing against him back in 05 and 06. And so I love the course change, and it brings back some great memories. So, because I've raced it both ways multiple times, because I think we've changed the race over the last 20 years. I think Draper's changed, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. So it's like original, and then it was non-original. It was original and non-original, and now it's back to original. So I can't remember, because I know I've just been racing. I lose track of time. But anyway, it's pretty interesting. I had a ball out there. So let me get some comments here. So. Yeah, Mike says USA rep 2 years ago moved him up to a Cat 1 in one day. Yeah, that can happen if you reach out, but I think they've changed that to almost all electronic, Michael. So this doesn't happen in one day anymore. It used to happen like that, but it just doesn't. So, Trip Harrison, what's happening? Carolyn Fairless says, I'll pick sand any day over last year's mud. So. Yeah, mud's no bueno, but you're not going to get a lot of mud at Draper. So fairly certain we didn't have mud at Draper last year. Did we even do Draper last year? Yeah, we did. I can't remember. I've had so many things going through my head, but yeah. Let's see. Usual Trip and Philip are talking to one another. Oh, Trip asked me, am I racing? Oh my gosh, I don't know, dude. I 3 days ago I said hard no. I mean, honestly, no way I'm racing with you if I race, because I'm not there to even compete with you. But I'm feeling pretty good, so I'm thinking I may just give it. I think I may just give it a go. So, but I haven't registered yet because Don hasn't given me a comp code yet. Don, you need to create a comp code for me, and maybe I'll register. Don, yes, he. Hey, Don. Don says he posted the course map on the Team Phoenix Facebook page. Don, will you post that on the Tour de Dirt page, please? I was going to share that, but I thought you guys might do that, so I didn't want to do that preemptively. I didn't know if you guys are still working out details, but that same post that you put on the Team Phoenix Facebook page, I would love for you to do that on like Oklahoma mountain bike trail conditions as well as Tour de Dirt. So just share that with both of those groups, and that would be golden. So Don has just a kind of like a list of things that they're doing for COVID and things and some rules and regulations and things that are happening, which I think are great. In addition to, they actually have the race course kind of hand marked. So for sure. Plus all you guys that are Stravaing, I mean, people have been riding the crap out of this thing. So all the Stravas are out there. So. I think you got the wrong race. Brian McGinnis says pretzel dogs this year. No, I think you're talking Team Warm Up and their winter solstice ride. Those are the pretzel dogs, and they're a baller. Jeremy Coleman, what's happening? We're still chatting. Trip. Oh, Trip. I'll race. I just need to get a comp code so I don't have to actually fill out a form and register. Maybe Don will hook me up and I'll get registered here after the show tonight. My fitness is shit though. I haven't been able to finish a workout all week. I've been trying my ass off, but I can't finish it. I've been even lowering like my interval levels because I can't push the watts right now. So Jeremy Coleman, I met Jeremy Coleman and a couple of Medicine Park crew up there riding this weekend, and Jeremy just says, "Don't follow my Strava. We did the jump line every time." So him and Emil were like, every time they would go, they'd do like an hour and a half lap, but they'd spend like 45 minutes on the jump line. That's awesome. Oh goodness. Kelly Farm says ignore him. I think they're talking to ignore Brian McGinnis. That's what it is. Oh goodness. That's all right, Paula. I know. So for all of you that says where it says Kelly Farms Trails, that's Paula McGinnis, OEF president, and Tour de Dirt cyclist and rider, and her family all shows up. So it just shows Kelly Farm Trails because she can't change it. So she says kudos to trail workers on Sunday. Draper's in killer shape. Excellent. Yeah, I talked to Billy Denton later, and he said that, man, there were a ton of people out. OEF people out working on the trail, as well as Team Phoenix. Team Phoenix knocked out of the park. So very, very cool. Very cool. So that was the course. The course is, so we're going to do 1 lap for the Cat 3s. We're going to do 2 laps for the Cat 2s. Let me back up. We're going to do 1 lap for the novices. Man, it's going to take me a really long time to get that down. I've said Cat 3 for so long. Novices, formerly Cat 3, are going to do one lap. They're going to do one full lap, which is the 9-ish mile loop, main loop. The Cat 2s are going to do 2 laps. The Cat 1s are going to do 3 laps. But because it's going to be hot, and the Cat 2s and Cat 1s and 2s are starting at like 11:30-ish and racing, through the hottest part of the day, we are going to, I'm just telling you guys, Team Phoenix and the promoters, Don Jonathan and Kevin Caldwell, who's been working on the trail, we've created a prologue lap. So the first lap for the Cat 2s and the first lap for the Cat 1s will be a prologue lap. Now it's going to be a pretty long prologue. It's going to be 7 miles, but they're going to cut 2-ish miles off the main loop. And they're going to do that first. And then they're going to enter, and then they're going to do a full loop of the 9-ish miles. So the Cat 2s will then complete their so their second lap will be a full 9-ish mile loop. And then they will finish. They will come out of the orange, sprint up the hill to the finish, and be done. Okay. The Cat 1s will just do 2 of those full 9-ish mile loops and do the same thing. Sprint uphill out of the orange, uphill to the start finish tent. So that's the plan. The shortened lap just will probably shave. I mean, honestly, it doesn't seem like much. It's 2 miles, but that will shave off 15 to 20 minutes a lap. And that's significant. For us. So it doesn't seem like much, but I think it's perfect. I think it's going to be just the right amount. The times are probably going to fall a little bit short of True to Dirt regulations, but the heat index is going to be stupid this weekend. So anytime the heat index is this crazy, then we always want to fall short of the time recommendations for True to Dirt. And so I think this is going to be. I think the way these laps are going to work, the distances are going to be perfect. Yes, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be hot. You're going to have to be prepared. But I think they're just the perfect temperature. I don't think that anybody's going to. I don't think with these distances anybody's going to get in trouble. But we're prepared in case it happens. The promoters are prepared in case it happens. It does happen. I mean, it's happened before, and it'll happen again. But hopefully, with these distances and the way that things are set up, then that'll be limited. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Philip Staten says, so skipping yellow for first lap for Cat 2 and 3. Did I understand that right? Incorrect. No. Cat 3s are only going to do 1 lap, and they're going to do the full lap. Yes, you made your correction, Philip. You mean Cat 2 and Cat 3. Yes, that is correct. So Cat 1 and Cat 2 will skip the yellow on the first lap. That is correct. Yes. Karina, I do not know. Karina Coleman just asked me, do we know what time they do the trophy for the Cat 3 and the Kids Cup? So I'm going to talk to Don. Don's actually listening right now. I'm going to talk to Don right now, and I'm going to talk to Kevin Caldwell and Team Phoenix. So as a precaution and as part of the COVID just precautions that we need to take, I am going to recommend that they do all the podiums as they happen. So we're doing a little change up here with RDR. This is something that the promoters came up with. I ran it by my Kids Cup director, and we all agreed that we'd give it a go and see what happens. We normally race the Kids Cup early. We've made a very concerted effort this year to try to start the Kids Cup later, because it's very hard to get those kids there and the parents and so early. And when they're starting at such an early time, it's so hard. And then when it's colder months, it's freezing balls. And so we've been trying to push the times later. Well, so it's hot. The Kids Cup races aren't that long. So Team Phoenix actually came up with a unique idea, something that we've never done before. I think we should try it and see what happens. We're flipping the novice and the kids cup. Our novice adults are actually going first at, I believe, 9 o'clock. And they're going to do their race. And then as they're finishing, we're going to begin the kids cup at about 10. So then the kids cup are going to go, and they have plenty of time to do their race. And then we're not going to start the cat 2 and cat 1s until later, like 11:30, I think. I don't know the exact time. I'm just winging it. So we're going to flip-flop the cat 3s and the kids cup. So the cat 3s are actually going to race first, and then the kids get to go after that, which I think, I don't know, it could be an interesting change. Well, I'd be curious to see how it plays out. But to answer your question, Karina, I am going to ask the promoters too, as soon as the cat 3s are done, we want to post the results. We're probably going to give more time to post the results than usual, simply because we don't want a lot of people gathering around the results sheet looking at the results like we normally do. We want like small groups because, again, we have to try to maintain some COVID restrictions. And then once that's done, I want the promoters to then go ahead and do the awards ceremony for the cat 3s. And then as soon as the kids are done, Amy Bean will go and do what she always does, and she'll have the results. And as soon as she gets them gathered, then she can do the results for all the parents and all the kids cup, and those will be done pretty much just as soon as the race is over. So that's my goal, and that's what I want everything to happen. I want all the awards to be done as the events are completed instead of waiting till the end of the day. And that one lets people go ahead and get home if they need to get home, but it also limits the amount of people that are congregating around the finish and the hymns and things like that we normally have. And I think we need to try to just space things out a little bit just because of what's going on in our world. So that's my plan. I don't have specifics because, it's pretty fluid. It takes a little bit to get the results done and things of that nature. But I'm working with getting obscene gestures from my kiddos as they walk by.
I should go out and do it.
I'll just grab the camera and point it at you. So anyway, so that's the plan, and I hope, and then we'll space the podium boxes apart a little bit too, so that we're not. So again, I mean, we're back to racing, but we still need to be cautious, and we still need to do physical distancing. So Roger Williams, Lawrence grass track practice tonight, social distancing style. Cheers, man. Roger, you missed my earlier speech. Don't use social anymore, please. Change social to physical distancing style. We're not socially distancing. We're all still chatting. We're all still talking. We're all still loving each other. We're all still having a great time. We're physically distancing to help keep contracting the disease. So physical distancing, not social. Let's see. Trip says, Kids Cup heat acclimation. It's 10 o'clock, a little bit, not too bad. Of course, the thing is, the Kids Cup will be done, and those kids will be riding for like 6 hours after that just because they don't have anything to do, and they'll be jumping curbs and popping wheelies all day long. Zachary Hood, I'm late to the party, ready for this Cat 2 heat. You got it, bro. You're going to get it for sure. Let's see. That's all I got. That's all I got. I was kind of winging the whole last part. So, let's see. I highly recommend online registration. RDR, upon my request, they've changed the registration deadline to Friday. I don't exactly know what time, but it'll be Friday evening. So it gives you plenty of time to register. Register online. Limit the amount of content that you have at registration. If you do decide to register day of, you have the option to bring your own pen you can actually print out the paperwork and all of that. Just go out to oktdd.org and take care of that. You can print those papers off and fill them out beforehand. That way you don't have to deal with that on the day of. They will also have, during the registration, they have disposable pens that upon filling out your registration, you can just put in your pocket or you can toss in the trash can. They will not be reused. So, yeah, so all kinds of things they're doing. They'll be wearing face masks. The volunteers will all be taking temperature tests. I'll work out a little deal where I'm probably not going to be touching a lot of money for Tour de Dirt plates. I will probably have you guys. I don't know how I'm going to do. I don't know. Yeah, I will probably be touching. I will probably be doing. Yeah, for me, it's money. I'll have to give you the Tour de Dirt plates and things of that nature. But I'm probably going to be doing what I can to not touch money back and forth. At least touching your money. I don't know. Well, I'm kind of working out the logistics of that for the number plates, but yeah, we'll be all good. So, I don't know. That's it. Let's see what do we got here. Herb Brown says he'll be physically distancing off the back, just doing his part. Herb, that's nice. Don just chimed in and said it's going to be Friday at midnight. So you've got, which I told him, I asked him to do Friday late. And the reason is because I've noticed with mountain bikers, you guys all get off work and it's like Friday. And it's like, what are we going to do this weekend? Oh, we're going to go race. And it's like, oh shit, we got to register for this race. And it's like, you realize it's like Friday at like 8 and you finally decide to register. So get online, get registered, take care of all that for sure. Jeremy Coleman, hand sanitizer. Absolutely. And I was talking to Don Jonathan, the promoter for RDR, and he said that they paid the porta potty company extra money this year, and they're going to have hand sanitizer at registration. They're going to have it at the porta potties. They're going to have it all over. So yeah, for sure. It's Team Phoenix is going to some extra costs to make sure that we're all safe, and it'll all be there. So, or keep whiskey handy. There you go. That'll do the trick. Right? Alrighty, ladies and gents. I still went over an hour. Damn, I thought I was going to get under an hour today, but as usual, I get a little long-winded. So, alrighty, RDR this weekend. Be sure and get your licenses upgraded. Know your age category. Be sure and get your state license, Oklahoma State Park license, annual licenses for your parking fees. And we're doing physical distancing, not socially. Socially, I love all you guys. Trip, you are actually correct. Trip is replying to Trip. 2020 plates, absolutely. So if you race the first 2 races, you already have a plate. You're good to go. Plates are good all year. All right. Ladies and gents, see you guys later.